Hello, my lovely, my lovely YouTube crew. Sorry, I'm laughing because she's sniffing her way along the path, which she sometimes does. And you'll see that it's really quite dark. This is actually, that light you see, that's a light that my camera seems to have turned on because it sees the dimness. It's not actually that late, it's only about 7:30. But we're under this thick canopy of trees and there isn't much light here. But I really did want to show you this because we were talking yesterday about when you get out of the habit of things, and particularly riding, and you've been out of the saddle for a bit and your horse hasn't been out for a bit, and you can both, if you're the kind of people who are prone to little, how shall we say, little dips. Dip is a good word, isn't it? Dips of confidence. So just moments of uncertainty, and especially because, let's face it, we have been in a pandemic for a very long time. So it means that and when I say I mean all of our humans, all of us humans, all of our bodies, no, come on, are physiologically wired for threat. Because this whole thing is so unknown and so broad and wide and deep. And, you know, who knows, it may go on for the rest of our lives. We may just have to live with it. I think also from my point of view, there's a lot of COVID in our village now that the lockdown has eased. And I think I do worry about that. And so all that, however well I think I'm coping with it, all that will transmit itself in some way to your horses. And some of them, if they've got a really strong sense of self and you've worked with them really, really well, and come on, and you've, really dug those foundations deep, some of them can actually carry that little bit of worry that they feel from their human. I had a little bay mare like that. She died last year. And I could have hopped on her any time at all during this pandemic and not even thought about it. This one is different. She picks up on all my emotions, even the ones I'm not entirely conscious of. And she has little wobbles herself. That's part of her character. She is not a pioneer. She's not one of those dauntless explorers who just sort of swaggers into the world. She thinks about things and she worries about things, and she's a lead mare. So when she goes away from her herd, she tends to think about what they're doing without her. She doesn't like it, for instance, if we pass someone going towards the field. And I always think she thinks they're on their way to kidnap her herd. I'm sure she doesn't literally think that, but, you know, she is their protector. That's quite a big job. And I think also it could sort of emotionally wear her out. So in other words, what I'm saying is, she does want to go home. What can you see? So I breathe. I let her have her little look. See if she'll just bring herself down. So I'm not tightening up the rein. There you go. There. In the old days, yeah, she wants to go home, so I'm going to let her go home because we've gone quite a long way further than we did yesterday. Good girl, and we're out all by ourselves. I'll just show you some of the lovely evening. Doesn't actually show up very well on the camera. That sky's really delicate. But because of this, I don't know, it must be the contrast of the light. It doesn't show up too well. Anyway, yeah, context. Context is absolutely everything. And I'm one of those people, if I can understand what's going on, I can deal with it a whole lot better. So if I understand what's going on with my horse, I understand what's going on with me, I understand the world in which we live, and the effect that that can have on our emotional state and on our nervous systems, then that helps me a lot, because I feel then I've got tools to work with. There. Do you see how much softer she is now? And look at those lovely mobile ears. That's what I'm always looking for. So she's not on alert. I can now feel confident enough to let go of the reins. There's a little bit of up. Now, I am conscious that if something jumped out of a bush now, she might have a little jump. Hope not too big a one. So I'm sitting quite nice and deep, putting my weight down, just moving with her very gently. And I also find that this kind of voice, nice, soothing, low, rhythmic voice, that really helps. Helps her and helps me. And you know, there's a part of me, just a little bit, which is, it's not actively ashamed, but it feels like it might be ashamed, or it could be ashamed, that I have become quite wary about just hopping on and going out on our own. And it's because, as I said yesterday, I've gone back into my comfort zone. I've gone out of the habit of it. When we're doing this every day, it's just not a thing at all, because it's just what we do. And that ties in with my idea about horses, is the more you want to give them confidence, the more you just get them used to stuff. So that noise and that burn, when she first lived here, that really frightened her. She didn't know what it was, and actually it does sound quite spooky, doesn't it? Like a monster. But now, because she's used to it, she's gone past it 100 times, she's not worried about it at all. So this is my theory about the things that you get out of the habit of, the things that you stop getting used to, suddenly can feel, in a time of complication, which I do think we're living through, can just suddenly feel a little bit overwhelming. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, because what I don't want to think is that I'm a completely tragic, cowardly custard. And also there's a part of me that thinks, if I feel a little bit worried because I'm out of the habit of riding, that must mean that I don't trust this incredible horse, and the trust between her and I is something that I cherish and that I write about the whole time, and that is part of my self-definition. So there's a whole lot of complicated stuff going on, in other words. And I think one of the things that riders often overlook is how much complicated baggage you can bring to you when you sit in that saddle. And if I can share some of that with you and be as honest as I possibly can, what I feel is that you are less likely to beat yourselves up, oh look, is it a sheep? To feel that if you have a little loss of nerve, that somehow that means that you're no good. Oh, what is it? Is it a sheep? Is it a sheep? Is it? Yes. So part of the point of this YouTube venture is not to tell you what to do. I mean, obviously I'd love to pass on some of the things I've learned, but it's as much, if not more, to talk to you about my vulnerabilities, the mistakes I make, the things I get wrong, the things I'd like to work on, all that stuff. And her vulnerabilities too, because she has them. And I was thinking before I got on, as I was having this little shake of trepidation, oh look, I feel her moving now on the grass. I was thinking maybe I put too much pressure on her, because when I write about her, I call her the Queen of everything with a capital Q and a capital E, and the Queen of Zen, and I give her all these names, and I write about how extraordinary she is and how I'll never meet another horse like her. And I sometimes wonder, maybe that's piling on too much on her. Now, she obviously doesn't know I call her those things, but again, it's the energy and the expectation that you bring down to the field. And maybe sometimes she does pick up on that. Maybe that, that is a pressure. Maybe I should just let her be as goofy and muddly and flawed and vulnerable as I allow myself to be when I'm, being kind to myself. So I'm afraid there are quite a lot of rambly thoughts in this video. But actually it's been really lovely having you with me on this ride. And it's really helped me focus on, oh, it's sheep, on all the things that I want to focus on. Yes, like just allowing ourselves to be ourselves, that we don't have to prove anything, that we don't have to be perfect, that we don't have to be fabulous. Although secretly both of us love a little bit of fabulousness every so often. And that's all perfectly all right. Okay, you're going to take me home now. There's always a point, just quite soon after this, where I can feel the confidence pouring back into her because she knows we're on the home stretch. Oh, boo-boo. Oh, you're okay. What is that? Can you see a coo? What is it? You're okay. So what I'm going to do when she does that, I can just feel a whoosh of slight worry in her, is I'll just put a little bit of weight. Oops, where are we going? Okay, we want to go on the grass. I'll just put a little bit of weight into one rein. That's it. Get the ear back to me. It's almost like you're doing a tiny little mini lateral flexion. There, good. And once you've got the ear, you've got the ear. And then she's softening underneath me again. I don't know what it was she saw, maybe that light up there. It's just a light. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh, and here's one last thought, and this is very important, is that sometimes, and I really don't like admitting this because it doesn't reflect very well on me, I want not to have to think about her emotions. Sometimes, like this evening, I was a bit tired. I've had a really long day. It was this lovely evening, so I wanted to get on and ride. And I wanted not to think, okay, where are we going now? Not to have to think about what she needed from me. And I always say this is what we do with our horses. Hey. Okay, we're just going to go this way. I have to neck rein her because I've only got one rein. Oh, there. Oh, there. Yeah, that I would like to just have the thing that doesn't really exist, but that exists in all of our magical minds, which is the push button horse. So I don't have to think about what she needs from me. I don't have to think about what state of mind she's in. I just can get on and go. And there is a little bit of me in occasions like this where I suddenly think that. And I think, you know, we've done all this work together. And, oh, is that Flo making a noise? And, you know, I should just be able to get on and know, yes, where are we going? Good girl. That she'll just be fine. And the thing is, she's never quite going to be that horse. There are things that, you know, get in her head. And considering her character, it is absolutely amazing that we can do this. I mean, I did just get her out of the field all on her own. We don't normally go riding on our own at this time of night. You know, I didn't do any groundwork, which actually I probably should have done. I just hopped on her. What can you see? Oh, you're right. You're taking me home. Good girl. You're taking me home. Good girlie. There we go. There's a little, I can't believe the lights come on. It's so weird. Looks like it's midnight because of this camera light. Yeah, there's a little bit of human entitlement. Little bit. And come on in. You're all right. You got it. Yeah, you're going to take me home. Good girl. Oh, is it Flo? Is it Flo? You're okay. Yeah, so there's a little bit of worry there. Can you see in the ears? Just a little bit. And we have to go here because there's a ditch. Yeah, we have to go here with neck reining like a crazy thing. Good girl. You remember your polo days? Big breathe out. There we go. Big breathe out. Okay, there's Florence wigging out. she didn't mind wet at all when we left yesterday. So again, I suppose that's the principle of work with the horse you've got that day. Anyway, yes, so that last admission, which I took a long time to get to because I didn't really want to admit it, is that tiny, tiny little sliver of human entitlement I should be able to expect that I can just get on and go. Now, the thing is, sometimes when I've done my work well, and when I'm in a good place, and when she's in a good place, I can just get on and go. She is as close as you get to push button. She hasn't been quite, she hasn't been quite like that in the last couple of rides. You know, I have needed to help her and think about her and give her that little bit of confidence. But all the same, how long have you been with me? 15 minutes. 15 beautiful minutes. And that is still a thoroughbred in a rope halter on a long rein or sometimes no rein at all. Doing something that she... Oh, what is it? Is it a chicken in a tree? It's a chicken in a tree. Is it a chicken in a tree? Nobody expects the chicken in the tree, except the chicken's always in the tree. Is it a chicken in a tree? Oh, is it a shouty flow? Is it... What a drama. Okay, you can just take me home because you're in your place now. Yes, you are. You're in your place. So there we are. That is... Oh, that is a real... Where's the chicken? Is it in the tree? Oh. Yes? No. Ah, there's nobody in the tree. Oh. What? Is that Olga? Who's that then? Yeah. Oh, hear that big sigh. And there's the lick and the chew. That's what we're looking for. Good girl. Big release. Good girl. Yeah, so... what's my message? Because it's obviously very important to have a message. Samuel Goldwyn always said to his movie makers, if you want to send a message, use Western Union. But I think a message is important, and I think it is understand yourself, be kind to yourself, be kind to your horse. Understand that you both will have days when you're not feeling at your most robust. And that's okay, isn't it, Bean? Yeah, you did pretty well. You did really well. Don't put too much pressure on. Be careful of your expectations. Talk yourself through it. Yeah. And then when they do the good stuff, just give them some lots and lots and lots of love. Yeah, lots of love. Good girl.